Hi, I'm Michael Mo, co-founder and CEO of Cooler Technology Group. I want to thank you taking time out of your busy schedule and attend our inaugural Battery Solutions Day. We're asking everybody to join us in a battery revolution, and that's what it is. Mobile, sustainable energy has gone from the future to the now. Rechargeable batteries are not just powering billions of cell phones and laptops around the world, but everything from electric vehicles to entire buildings. It's already a multi-billion-dollar market. It's projected to grow 5 times larger in the next 10 to 15 years. Today, we're very excited to show you our latest product developments, as well as the commercial deployment of our thermal management technologies. It's our chance to get close with you. We're also very fortunate to have a select group of key customers and partners to share with you how we're working together in exciting ways. It's Battery Solutions Day, but we don't have all day, so let's get on it. Since its inception, Cooler's long-term strategy has been to co-developing cutting-edge thermal management technologies and work closely with top government agencies, including NASA, Department of Energy, and Department of Defense, as well as regulatory agencies and international testing organizations in our missions to make these amazing technology innovations in the energy and thermal management verticals, then commercialize them in fast-growing markets. And we're succeeding. Most recently, in the second quarter, our strategy materialized into encouraging initial results with meaningful upside potentials in 2 key areas: the battery transportation and the energy storage markets. We're known for our signature product, our patented one-of-a-kind carbon fiber structure. It's so innovative and effective that NASA incorporated it into the Mars Rover 2020 Perseverance program. We're proud to say that we beat Tesla to Mars. And the Department of Transportation has issued special permits so that customers can utilize it to safely transport batteries. You see how we deploy this technology into energy storage, electrical transportation markets in our passive propagation-resistant PPR design product section. You also see how it's used on the International Space Station to keep the astronauts' laptop and tablets safe. Furthermore, we'll show you the commercial version of this technology, and we'll show you probably the only product in the market permitted to handle the transit of 2.1 kilowatt-hour capacity batteries for recycling, prototype, and DDR batteries. We also have a couple brand new products to show you today. I'm particularly excited about CellCheck, and this is a hardware and software platform that monitors the health of battery cells. This integrated platform will provide data intelligence and new level of battery safety and thermal stability. Being able to monitor the health of millions of batteries that are in the field is a prime example of Cooler's expansion from a hardware component company to a system solution provider with enterprise-level data integration and mass market applications. Keith COCHRAN, our President and COO, will start our product introduction by giving you a sneak peek of this CellCheck product that we expect to be commercially available in early 2022. And all qualified parties will have a chance to sign up for a beta list at the end of today's session for an ongoing non-public news about CellCheck. We are an American company, and I speak for all of us when I say we take pride in serving our country. It's part of effort to continue to serve critical needs of our DoD and aerospace customers. We've developed an automated cell testing and screening system. We'll share with you today some details on how we've been called upon to develop a test pilot system to help maintain our nation's strategic battery reserve, which is critical to maintain America's energy production, no matter what external forces may impact global supply. Last but not least, we'll share you some updates on a new carbon fiber battery cell architecture we've been developing for faster charge and higher energy density cells. Enough of the product and on to the people. We're honored today to be joined by many of our partners and customers and business associates of Cooler. You'll hear about their vision of electrification revolution and how we're working together to create a sustainable economy. These are just some of today's highlights. So before Keith takes the mic, I want to remind you that this is your chance to ask questions directly through the chat window. We'll address them all we can at the end, and rest assured that we will review everything submitted and commit to getting back to you. Thank you again for joining the Cooler team and myself for Battery Solutions Day in this revolutionary time.
With Cooler's NASA experience, we know it's technology we can trust. We're learning more now with our Extreme E team that temperature control is very important, and that's where Cooler really comes in to help us win more races. Andretti Technology expects the best out of all their partners. With Coolers being involved with our race team, we're very excited because we are very much involved in electric racing. Thermal technology is really a positive for the environment. Cooler provides the safest and reliable PPR packaging in the industry. Cooler's technology is NASA tested and proven, which is a perfect fit for us here at Andretti Autosport and Andretti Technologies. With Cooler Solutions, by drawing heat away from the battery, has helped the life and also the efficiency of the battery. With Cooler, we're looking for more race wins and more championships to add to our success.
Hello everyone, I'm Keith COCHRAN, President and Chief Operating Officer of Cooler Technology. I'm very excited to share with you an amazing new product we're developing called CellCheck. This patent-pending revolutionary system of hardware, software, sensors, apps, the cloud, and AI will dramatically increase the safety of a battery pack through an instant analysis of its current and historic health. We believe this will be a game-changing product for the $38 billion lithium-ion battery market. Today, a battery pack provides limited to no data about what may have happened to or what's going on within its cells. This is, of course, dangerous and can lead to catastrophic events such as fires and loss of equipment. As you know, Cooler has a long history of providing battery safety solutions. Seeing the need for higher intelligence both inside and outside the battery, we set out to create the world's safest battery pack management system. We custom designed CellCheck in-house on dual processors running Linux RTOS. The hardware has both an applications processor and a communications processor. The apps processor monitors the health, sensor data, user interface, data storage, and cloud updates. The comms processor makes updates in the cloud through a Bluetooth, NFC, or USB connection. Okay, so that's all impressive, but what makes it revolutionary? In addition to the cell's health history, the CellCheck app lets you look inside the pack to ensure it is safe and capable for use. I'm sure you're thinking, aren't there smart batteries already available? What's currently available is a kindergarten level solution, a row of LEDs that tell you the state of charge. CellCheck is like a master's class professor. It checks the charge cycles, excess heat cold events, vibration, pressure swelling, physical impact events, charge and discharge rates, overcharge events, current state of charge, min-max voltage, over-under voltage, storage time, cell imbalance, cell leakage. Wow, right? That's a lot of data being captured. How can this captured data translate into safety and protection? Through the intuitive CellCheck app, which literally puts control in the palm of your hand. The operator will just connect to the battery, and the app will instantaneously analyze the pack and present the info in an intuitive, graphic-rich dashboard. Think of it as a pre-flight check with the whole life history of a battery in view. This has simply not been possible before. The app will generate a life expectancy and risk assessment based on cloud AI analysis of usage patterns, abuse history, extreme physical shock, extreme temperature, vibration, cell check, and other factors with green, yellow, and red light notifications to clearly show where possible operating hazards exist. And it gets better with time. As more data is transported to the cloud, the battery life cycle information is gathered and analyzed to improve the safety of all batteries on the ground. It's available for easy access and analysis by logging into cellcheck.com, where you'll also be able to run queries, check inventory histories, set rules, and other heuristics. For the first time, you'll be able to manage your entire battery pack. You'll anticipate failures and eliminate risks such as a catastrophic event. You'll also improve performance with the proper tracking and handling of charging. CellCheck will be the centerpiece of KULR's smart battery platform and will also be offered for license to the battery pack OEMs. We plan to introduce it to the market in first half of 22. Anyone interested in leveraging the CellCheck technology is encouraged to email sales@KULRtechnology.com as we are beginning to queue up for deployment. Let the revolution begin.
What the heck is PPR? That was a question by Dana Hall at Bloomberg when she wrote about the recent battery fire and recall on September 1st. PPR stands for Passive Propagation Resistant, which is a term coined by the folks at NASA Johnson Space Center to describe a battery design and testing methodology to make batteries safe enough to go into space. It means that there's no active parts like fans or pumps to keep the battery safe. Because battery in space has to survive extreme operating conditions with minimum chance of failure. So when a single battery fails, it cannot propagate to the rest of the cells in the battery pack or breach the battery enclosure, which can cause catastrophic chain reactions. All the fire and explosion needs to be contained within that single cell. And that's where our thermal runaway shield, TRS, comes in. It's a patented technology that integrates a carbon fiber core with cooling liquid to contain a thermal runaway event. Let me show you what happens when one cell goes into thermal runaway. As you can see, just one single 18650 cell has enough energy release to pierce through a 0.5 millimeter thick aluminum case. And that's not what you want strapped in the back of an astronaut. Let me show you another video that has 4 21700 cells in the pack. These cells have 50% more energy than those in the previous video. You can see that after one cell goes into thermal runaway, it quickly propagates to the other 3 cells, generating enough energy release equivalent to one hand grenade and a catastrophic chain of events. So when you have multiple of these cells in a battery pack, such as a Tesla electric vehicle or energy storage products, you can imagine how violent a propagation can be. And let me show you an example of PPR design from KULR. This is a CubeSat battery that we're developing with NASA Marshall Space Center. In this configuration, we have 16 18650 cells packed in the 4x4 configuration. We trigger one cell into thermal runaway with nail penetration by our patented medieval-style hammer drop. Just kidding. The enclosure of the battery pack is 3D printed plastic. Our TRS material is used in between the cells and between the cell and the enclosure. As you can see here, there's no fire or explosion outside the enclosure after the test, and you don't see any propagation among the cells. We're very excited to have a couple of our customers joining us today. Volta Energy is pioneering in the modular battery energy storage system for commercial and residential markets. Here's Volta Energy's president, Dennis ELSENBECK.
Our partnerships make us stronger. Verdi Pronte's partnerships are generating real results. The combination of KULR's Hydro technology and Verdi Pronte's proprietary battery pack resulted in the City of Buffalo and the Buffalo Fire Department granting New York State's first permit and installing an indoor battery storage system, which we'll be soon celebrating later on this year. It's all about safety. Much like KULR, safety is the basis of everything we do. Our architecture is the only design in the market that can be safely installed and operated in any environment or location. Green Machine is making construction and industrial job sites safer with quieter, zero-emission, fully electric construction equipment. Volta and our collaboration with KULR is making safe, reliable battery storage systems available to more energy consumers, including residential, commercial, and industrial facilities, placing resiliency and energy costs in the hands of the consumer.
We can probably all agree that there are no more safety critical applications than electrical planes. We're working with one of those pioneers, Mr. Andre Boschberg, NH55, to make their electric plane battery packs to meet the EU e-plane safety requirements.
Mobility, our mobility on the ground, in the air, is creating a lot of CO2. And if we want to make it clean, the only way is to make this mobility electric. Electric cars, but also electric airplanes, like the one you see behind me. If you want to make it electric, you need an electric motor, you need an energy source, can be hydrogen, but you always need somewhere a battery. It can be a battery only, or it can be a battery in between. And battery is the critical element. And we know that sometimes battery burn, we can't have it happen here in this aircraft. So we have to demonstrate it's totally safe. So we have designed this module using different technologies, and one specifically from the cooler, which allow us to control the thermal behavior of this battery pack. And Cool has developed specific technologies, specific products, which allow us to achieve this goal. And our first application is this airplane. That's a flight trainer to train pilots. And of course, if they learn to fly on electric airplanes, they will also want to fly clean in the future. That's the first step, but more to come.
When Silk-FAO decided to design and produce the ONCI S9 hypercar, it was natural to base our operation in the Moto Valley, the cradle of automobile innovation. From the start, our mission has been to be the best, to build the fastest, most beautiful, advanced vehicle of its type. Our partners have to be the best at what they do, too. That's why we joined with Cooler Technology to address our thermal management needs. They have a rich heritage developing space-age technology. We asked for the same for our products. Batteries produce heat, a lot of it. Cooler will work side by side with us to develop solutions that address thermal generation without sacrificing safety, adding unnecessary weight, or compromising performance. It is remarkable how aligned we both are in what we do. Just as the world looks to us as the gold standard for developing a high-performance electric vehicle, we now look to Cooler to set the mark for progressive solution to address our thermal output.
Our goal is to combine PPR design methodology with our new CellCheck intelligent battery management system to provide the safest battery system in the market, from primary use to second life applications, all the way to end-of-life recycling. Speaking of end-of-life recycling applications, let's talk about the Cooler Tech Safe Case. The Cooler Tech Safe Case is a reusable battery storage and transportation case that utilizes our patented thermal runaway shield technology to provide a new level of safety and sustainability to battery transportation. The technology was tested by NASA and has been used on the International Space Station to keep the astronauts' laptop batteries and tablets safe from battery thermal runaway propagation since 2019. With this NASA-proven technology, we successfully secured 3 separate U.S. Department of Transportation special permits to allow for the safe transportation of lithium-ion batteries up to 2.1 kilowatt hours. We believe this is the only solution in the market that has received DOT approval for battery capacity at this level for recycled, prototype, and DDR batteries. DDR stands for damaged, defective, and recall batteries, all in one configuration. Best of all, the Cooler Tech Safe Case is also designed to be reusable, so we can all contribute to a greener and healthier environment for ourselves and for future generations. Let me show you how it works. We've all seen in the PPR design section how dangerous these 21700 cells are. A thermal runaway event from one cell can trigger a violent propagation to all the other cells. Now we have 120 of these cells in a large battery pack. And we trigger 3 cells into thermal runaway, 2 at each corner and 1 in the middle. What you see is just some smoke and puff coming out of the case. No fire, no explosion in this configuration. Afterwards, as you open up the case, all the rest of the battery cells are fully intact, no thermal runaway propagation. We're very excited to have 2 industry colleagues and customers joining us to talk about the Cooler Safe Case. They will address key challenges in the industry and how it serves them in sustainable ways.
The Cooler Tech Safe Case is one of the best solutions I've seen, particularly for large energy batteries. It is so effective at mitigating thermal runaway, my former colleagues at the U.S. Department of Transportation issued Cooler several special permits to transport batteries up to 2.1 kilowatt hours. Cooler is one of only limited companies worldwide to receive this authorization, which applies to road and rail shipping for recycled end-of-life batteries, for damaged and defective or recalled batteries, and for the air shipment of prototype batteries. The Cooler packaging solution provides customers with a streamlined process which simplifies what users, such as retail employees, need to ship their batteries safely and compliantly. The special permits issued to Cooler were granted in part based on the stellar work Cooler has done with NASA to protect lithium-ion batteries on the space station and other missions. I am glad to be part of the battery revolution.
Now we're working with battery recycling, e-mobility, and power tool companies to deploy this technology for commercial use. Here's Mr. Shane Thompson, President of Heritage Battery Recycling.
At Heritage, we have developed an end-of-life battery management program that is driving the sustainability of lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are found in our phones and in our electric vehicles. They're found across multiple industries. Cooler's innovation and solutions for our customers will make them an integral part of our business model as demand is rapidly growing for safe, compliant transportation options for lithium-ion batteries. We're excited to partner with Cooler, and we anticipate a growing business as our OEM customers ramp up their shipments of end-of-life lithium-ion batteries. Our primary goal is to responsibly handle end-of-life batteries from our customers, and for those batteries that need to be recycled, to recover the metals so that they can be directly inserted back into the battery supply chain. Providing a domestic source of battery materials is critical to supporting the continued electrification of our economy. The Cooler Safe Case provides the form factor that we need to safely transport end-of-life batteries, and it's important to us that it's reusable, as it further minimizes the environmental impact. We see our addressable market for this circular economic model to be well over $10 billion in the next 10 years, and anticipate many years of growth with Cooler. We're excited to be a part of one of the most important segments of our emerging sustainable economy.
Let's talk a little bit about lithium-ion battery production and why it is so important that the U.S. maintain a strategic battery reserve. First, we should probably define what a strategic battery reserve is. There are DoD and NASA missions that require 18650 and 21700 battery cells that have been completely verified that they are 100% in compliance to all aspects of the specifications. To accomplish this, Cooler has developed a proprietary automated system that will allow cells to be optically inspected for cosmetic defects or damage, measure for dimensional variations, and check the mass to ensure proper capacity. In addition, these cells are electrically tested by performing a capacity cycle with DC resistance and direct current internal resistance measurements. Each cell is individually serialized and all test data is securely stored in the cloud so our customer can access the cell information. Once all testing is complete, the batteries are stored at Cooler in an environmentally controlled, secure storage warehouse until needed by our customers. Now, why is it important that the U.S. maintain a strategic U.S.-based battery reserve? As you can see by the graph, 77% of battery production in 2020 was made in China, with only 9% in the US. By 2025, it is projected that only 6% of the cells will be produced in the US. This clearly places the US in a vulnerable position should there be a supply chain disruption from China. As we have seen through the pandemic, supply chain disruptions by China can have tremendous negative impacts on the US. Accordingly, the DoD and NASA need assurances that there is a reserve of proven battery cells capable of supporting their needs in a time of short supply and to support mission-critical applications where a failure is not an option. As KULR has supported the DoD and NASA for battery safety management for over 30 years plus, KULR has taken the initiative to take on this critical task of supporting a secure and verified battery reserve. We are proud to support the US, and our system will be fully online in the first half of 2022 in our San Diego facility. This service will also be made available to commercial partners for their critical performance needs. Commercial partners could potentially include electric planes, electric submarines, EVs, various drone manufacturers, amongst many others. Our expectation is that we will be capable of processing 1.2 cells annually. However, our design is modular and can easily be expanded as we see the need. We believe our first year revenue for this service to be in the range of $5 to $10 million, and our new automated cell screening capability simply adds to our existing range of services, which include design, training, logistics, and storage. We would like to now share with you comments from two very impressive individuals. First off, Dr. Will Walker from NASA's Johnson Space Center will provide insights on thermal management and where he sees KULR's leaderships. Dr. Walker is well known as an industry leader and has won the NASA Trailblazer Award, as well as receiving the RNASA Stellar Award for his contributions to lithium-ion battery, thermal analysis, and collimetry methods. After Dr. Walker's comments, we will hear from a most impressive leader and one we are grateful to have on our board of directors, retired 3-star Lieutenant General Stacey Harris. Her list of accomplishments could fill our entire BSD show, so I would encourage you all to look her up online. Now, Dr. Walker.
Well, good day, everyone. My name is William Walker. I work at the NASA Johnson Space Center, where I focus on battery safety with a special focus in thermal runaway heat output. I'm here today to talk to you about addressing the variable response that we receive from thermal runaway using fractional thermal runaway calorimetry. The fractional calorimeter, which is shown on the screen with a couple of images here, is a special tool that we use to characterize the heat output of the lithium-ion cell when it goes into thermal runaway. What's special about this calorimeter is it allows us to characterize not just total heat output, but the fractional heat output. Where does the heat go when it's ejected? Does it eject away out the positive end of the cell through the negative end of the cell, if there is one? Does it conduct through the cell casing, which would presumably go towards neighboring cells? And using this calorimetric device, which also supports rapid turnaround testing, we can conduct a high quantity of experiments so that we can provide statistically significant characterization of the variable response of thermal runaway. Thank you.
You hear people say they want to see things from 30,000 feet, and as a pilot, that really is my view. As someone who has spent her life serving our nation and also flying freight and passengers, I understand the different needs of all three constituencies: national security, cargo, and people. Now, as I've transitioned from the pilot seat to a seat in the boardroom, I'm able to serve on an even greater level to nurture and encourage companies that are developing sustainable solutions, to strengthen our supply chain, and perhaps most importantly, to make decisions that help ensure our safety and security. Finally, as an engineer by degree and a pilot by profession, I'm excited about the sustainable solutions KULR is creating that can inspire more females to enter STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math career fields, to make our world safer and more secure. I'm Stacey Harris, and welcome to KULR Battery Solutions Day.
I'd like to share with you that KULR has shipped its first ever battery pack to our agricultural drone partner. The battery utilizes a safer cell technology along with KULR materials to provide the ultimate safety for a lithium-ion pack. Our partner is currently running tests in comparing it to their current battery packs in real-life scenarios. Based on Cooler internal testing, we believe the pack to provide superior performance for their application. We will, of course, keep you updated on our progress as we continue to build out our pack portfolio. Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Brian Morin, CEO of Soteria Consortium. Dr. Morin has filed over 200 patents and has been a great partner to Cooler.
Hello, my name is Brian Morin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Soteria Battery Innovation Group. I want to say thank you and welcome to Cooler and Michael Moe, who are very early members of the Soteria Battery Innovation Group Consortium. They've joined our other members, which include NASA, Mercedes, Bosch, Motorola, DuPont, and others. As members, they have really joined as a true partner in our ecosystem, working with the cell builders, the material providers, the drone companies, and others to develop and deliver the safety solutions needed for urban air mobility. Cooler takes safe cells, integrates them with their own battery management system, thermal management, and other controls and technology to design a product that is a drop-in solution for drone pilots to put into their drones for drone delivery, drone inspection, and other applications. Their technology is a perfect complement to our own safety technology, using their thermal management and ISC to deliver safe products. And this is the first of many products that I think we're going to be coming out with together. And it's been a pleasure to work with them to develop lithium-ion batteries that are inherently safe. And I have to just say thank you for everything that's been done, and I really look forward to the coming projects that we have in the works and the ones that are just on the drawing board now. So thank you to Cooler and everybody there.
Last but not least, let's talk about faster charging and higher energy batteries. We believe that fast charging will be the killer app for next generation batteries. When you combine that with higher energy battery cells, you can build EVs with much smaller batteries, which make them lighter and go further. And you require less rare earth material source to make EVs more accessible for everybody. We believe that's a foundation for a sustainable circular economy. And overheating has been a key limiting factor for advancing fast charging battery technology. So we think that there might be a way to solve that by using carbon fiber inside a battery cell to reduce the thermal resistance and also increase the electrical conductivity, which can dissipate heat more efficiently. Earlier this year, we started a research and development program using carbon fiber structures to make thicker cathodes with existing chemistry and more advanced anode technology. Here are some very early preliminary results of our work so far. What we try to achieve on the cathode side is to have higher loading factor, which is also a higher aerial capacity that can lead to high energy density cells. We're using a thicker electrode material to host the cathode material. The data shown here is our cathode configuration compared to a commercially available NMC 532 cathode, and also the same cathode material in a thicker layer. The commercial NMC 532 cathode has an aerial capacity around 1.5 milliamp hour per square centimeters. A thicker NMC 532 electrode fabricated with traditional method will reach your aerial capacity around 4.2 milliamp hour per square centimeter. And in sharp contrast, the cathode in our configuration offer an aerial capacity of 5.5 milliamp hour per square centimeter, which is more than 3 times higher than the commercial NMC 532. 3 times higher aerial capacity on the cathode side does not translate directly into a 3 times higher energy density cell. I wish it was that simple. And we also need to work on better anodes. So we're working on silicon anode and lithium metal anodes structure. And we'll show test data in future events. You may also ask the question, why don't people just make commercial NMC cathodes thicker to achieve higher aerial capacity? The data shown here is that at the elevated cycling rate of C/3. Our proposed cathode plotted in black shows a reversible capacity about 3.3 milliamp hour per square centimeter. The commercial cathodes with a much smaller aerial capacity do not have reversible capacity. However, the thicker NMC cathode fabricated with traditional method failed after 10 cycles. Standard additives such as carbon black using both commercial and lab-tested cathodes yield low and inhomogeneous conductivity, limiting electrochemical performance for thick cathodes. I must say that these data present a fairly small set of samples and very limited cycle time. However, we're very encouraged by the early data that shows good electrical conductivity and mechanical integrity so far, which lead us to believe that this is a structure that will have good fast charging applications. And we're very committed to continue this R&D effort with both existing chemistry as well as solid state electrolyte. This is literally our moonshot investment into the $100 billion battery cell market. We'll provide further updates to our shareholders in the future.
When you go to business school, they tell you that your number one responsibility as a board director is to act in the best interest of the shareholder. That's right, the people who own the stock in the company. You're supposed to keep an eye on their money. After all, it's their investment. And you're supposed to do whatever's best to increase the stock price. But that can lead to some really bad behavior. And it's also a very old way of looking at how to do things. Because today, a board director's primary responsibility is to act in the interest of all of the company's stakeholders, because that's what helps a company grow and thrive. So I want to think about that in terms of KULR for just a second. KULR is an interplanetary company. Our products are on the Mars rover, we're on the space station, of course, we're here on Earth. So our stakeholders are our employees, our customers, our vendors, the people who live in the communities where we do business. But one of our biggest stakeholders is the environment on this planet, the environment on Mars, the environment on space, and on any other planet that our customers ask us to help them explore. Now, I've written a couple of books about younger generations, millennials and Gen Z, and all the massive changes that they're bringing to our society and to the workplace. So I know that in order for KULR to be financially successful, to stay relevant to its customers, and to be an attractive stock for both institutional investors and for retail investors, we need to stay focused on ESG metrics. And by the way, ESG stands for environmental, social, governance. And it's my experience in this area that's one of the reasons why I serve as the chair of KULR's Nominations and Governance Committee on the board, and usually referred to as NomGov for short. The NomGov committee has oversight of ESG. And if you're paying attention to the news, then you probably know that companies and governments around the world are pledging net zero emissions in the next 10 to 20 years. That's a lot. That's a big change. But KULR is uniquely positioned not just to support net zero emissions, but to benefit from it. Because clean energy and decarbonization are in our company's DNA. Fossil fuels are out, old polluting systems, totally out. The battery market is growing exponentially, and KULR is leading the charge for battery safety and sustainability. So from development to disposal of the battery, KULR is setting the standard in this rapidly evolving sector, and I'm very excited to be part of this team.
Thank you, Joanna. Our view is that while the fragile environment and the limit of rare earth minerals are driving rapid change in technology to support the shift to renewable energy sources, current technology is not keeping pace with these increasing demands. KULR's sustainable, space-proven solutions enable our customers to make this transition possible. This ensures your applications are differentiated, safe, durable, sustainable, and deliver efficiency through size and weight reductions to lower the cost of logistics, improve time to market, and meet stringent regulatory requirements. With over 30 years supporting mission-critical applications in thermal and battery management solutions, we're expanding our technology portfolio to a totally integrated solution with intelligent hardware, software, cloud data storage, and AI computing to provide the best platform for battery thermal stability and safety. We're the clear choice to help unlock your future potential today. I want to thank all of you for spending time with us today out of your very busy schedule. Please Please keep in touch with us through our website, follow us on social media, and sign up our email list at bsd@coolertechnology.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Q&A session for Cooler's initial Battery Solutions Day. Before we get started, I do want to make a correction to some comments I made earlier about our strategic battery reserve. I was in such a rush to share some great news with you about the platform that I misspoke and said 1.2 cells is our volume. It's actually 1.2 million cells that we'll be able to produce with our automation. So at this moment, let's move forward and get right into our Q&A session. Operator?
It looks like Cooler's new platforms contain technology like hardware, software, cloud storage, and AI. How does it all tie together with your legacy products?
Well, I take that, Keith. We really believe that to fully address the market needs for battery stability and safety, we need to have an integrated approach that with intelligent hardware monitoring, the hardware built on top of proven thermal component technologies, and also with software laid on top to extract and aggregate the data in the cloud, and ultimately utilizing AI to provide predictive and potentially preventative functionalities. And that's the platform that we're building, within Cooler. We're building it one component at a time. Each component has its own target commercial, DoD, and aerospace customers. And then ultimately, we expect that these customers take advantage of that and then utilize the entire platform. Yes, it's a big undertaking, but we believe that Cooler is in a really good position to take on such a challenge and then provide the best platform to the industry.
We have another question. End of last year, you only had 11 employees. How many employees do you have now, and how can you execute all these product development?
I'll take that one, Michael. Well, we currently have over 30 employees, with many open positions still unfulfilled. However, we're simultaneously leveraging our outsourced partners for automation, software development, R&D, to maximize our leverage to rapidly move the company forward towards mass products and platforms. We are leapfrogging many of our competitors by utilizing consortiums, national laboratories, and worldwide recognized universities that maintain in-house technology and significant resources that Cooler can rapidly utilize to transition our vision and products into actual services and platforms. This is a wise use of our capital, and it provides Cooler access to very powerful tools and labs that would not be practical for us at this moment to build internally and organically. So we have all the financial and human resources that we need to cover all of the platforms that we discussed today.
So if I may just on that note, I just want to, there's some of the partners showed up today at BSD, really appreciate that. But for all the ones that work with us every day, hasn't shown up, but the next BSD, we'll incorporate them, and I want to give a shout out to all the partners that you just mentioned. Thank you so much for making it possible for us today.
Yep, totally agree with that.
I like the technology and the presentation, but why should I invest in Cooler?
Well, I take that one. Well, thanks for liking the presentation. But if you believe in the future of electrification of the society going forward, if you believe that battery safety, fast charging batteries, and keeping batteries cooler, lighter, safer is important, and then we believe that Cooler can be a good candidate for your investment portfolio. We believe that platform players going forward is going to be very valuable in these vertical markets, such as battery thermal stability and safety. We believe that there's huge growth and consolidation to come in the coming years, and Cooler will be the position to participate in these upcoming growth and consolidation wave to really increase shareholder value, and frankly, increase shareholder value for all stakeholders, our partners, our customers, and our employees.
Can you tell us more about the patents you're currently working on for this type of technology?
Sure. Well, we currently have 11 patents for the company. We have a little more than 12 that are patent pending today. But our strategy also includes getting licenses from some of the national laboratories that we can incorporate into our platforms.
What makes Cooler Technology stand out relative to its competitors?
Well, to the best of our knowledge, I think we're the only total platform solution provider right now focused on battery thermal stability and safety that combine the proprietary thermal managed components with intelligent hardware and software monitoring system. We've seen in the market that most of the thermal insulation materials from component supplier is to insulate a thermal runaway event. And the solution really needs to be a combination of the insulation with phase changing material to take care of all the energy release from a thermal runaway event.
Which products do you think will gain the greatest amount of traction from customers going forward, and why?
Yeah, I'll take that, Michael. Well, we strongly believe CellCheck to be revolutionary, and we think it'll be widely adopted. The amount of data and the safety of the platform just brings unrivaled technology to the market. And this technology can be adapted and integrated into motor vehicles as well. Our platform will alert car manufacturers of a pending safety issue with the battery pack, and we want to make sure an event doesn't occur. So, that's extremely valuable to their brand to say they have that technology in their vehicles. And I would think, that we all want security in our EVs. So we feel pretty good about that. We also feel very good about our prospects for our strategic battery reserve program. This is a service business that is modular and it's expandable. And we currently have line of sight, on the initial demand. And as we presented earlier, we think that first year it'll generate somewhere between $5 to $10 million in revenue. But it is expandable. So if we see additional interest in that, then we'll invest further based on the broader commercial interest.
What are your plans to expand your go-to-market strategy?
Take that?
Yeah, I can address that. As some of you may be aware, or we recently hired Greg Provenzano as our VP of Marketing and Sales to execute our go-to-market strategy. Greg has over 30 years experience in the industry in B2B, B2C, and also channel distribution strategy. So, our intention is to use all these channels for each of the platform that we, showcase today, because each one of them has its unique customer requirements and also target verticals.
Which battery do you prefer out of NMC and LFP, which is safer and better equipped to scale and end up being the dominant battery in the EV and storage industry?
Yeah, I'd take that. I mean, that's a kind of a long, technical, question or answer. As many of you know, LFP is inherently safer, but it's lower energy density and lower energy capacity, whereas NMC, can get very much higher energy density and capacity, but it's more volatile. So the R&D project that we illustrate today has tested on both NMC and LFP. I think that each one will play key roles, going forward, especially in the circular economy when you can recycle more materials and et cetera. But the goal of our carbon fiber, the electro material and the structure is to enable both of them to have fast charging and higher energy density, as well as, we talked about kind of going forward, the solid state electrolyte and so forth has bigger promises.
Do you mind getting into some detail here about the potential use of cooler technologies in the industrial grade energy storage and propagation?
Yeah, I think, for the industrial energy storage, our customer, Volta Energy, Dennis talked about how they're working on providing, the next generation safe solution for the state of New York. I think that's a perfect illustration. So we have other customers looking at different industrial applications, electric aviation, the H55 folks talked about that, many applications to come.
Yeah, and I'd just add in that it's very important to get Cooler involved early in the process so we can make sure we're getting designed and integrated into the pack to ensure its maximum safety capabilities.
Will Cooler's technology apply to subsequently battery types, or is it limited to lithium ion?
No, we're available to service many different battery types with our solution, so it's not just limited to the lithium-ion batteries.
Does CellCheck have to be pre-installed, or can it be retrofitted or added to an existing unit?
Well, it depends upon the battery pack. It can certainly be retrofitted into larger format battery packs where there's ample room available inside. Smaller battery packs, we have to make sure that the hardware will actually fit inside of that battery pack, or we might have to modify the casing for that battery pack. We're willing to take a look at all of those opportunities and provide a individualized solution for parties that are interested in that.
With the push to electronic vehicles and the growing number of battery issues with these vehicles, are you seeing any interest from EV manufacturers for your technology?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that some of these issues are fairly well or better documented now, so it brings awareness to the market and so forth. So yes, there's tremendous amount of interest from EV vendors, from energy storage vendors to address these safety issues, both in primary use and also for secondary use, for transportation, for recycling. So I think that this market is picking up to address the entire circular economy ecosystem from cradle to grave, if you will. And that's how we're positioning our solution, from PPR design to CellCheck to our safe case.
And I think it's important, again, that we're involved upfront in the initial design of those products, just like we are with the Silk EV, for example.
What are the parameters which the new app monitors to make sure the battery's safe performance?
Could you repeat that question again?
Sure. What are the parameters which the new app monitors? Make sure of the battery's safe performance?
Well, I think we covered that in the presentation, right? So it's state of charge, it's swelling of the battery, any type of historical event that could have caused damage, shock and vibe, temperature. The list was pretty deep. If you want, you can go back and listen to that piece in the CellCheck section of our presentation today.
And also, sign up for get further inquiries from a partner and customer perspective. Email us at bsd@coolertechnology.com or sales@coolertechnology.com. We'll be happy to have a more detailed discussion about that.
Does the PPR technology scalable for perismic cells, say with over 100 AH capacity?
Yeah, these 100 AH, that's amp hour. Yeah, those are very large cells. So you really need to look at from a design and testing perspective. So when we engage a customer, like Keith was saying, we want to get engaged with you earlier on in your battery pack design. How the cell behavior, how the cell behaves when you go to thermal runaway. That's kind of where Dr. Walker's technology, what he talked about, kind of address from the cell behavior point of view and how you design a battery pack. And then we put our design kind of a philosophy, testing philosophy behind that to move the heat away from the cells, away from the enclosure, and that's how you can get a PPR design.
That's all the questions that we have from our audience.
Well, thank you, everyone. We certainly appreciate everyone's time today. It's been a great event for us, and we thank you again for your interest. Michael and I especially want to recognize and thank our Cooler employees. Your passion and hard work is very much appreciated. Thanks again, team. Thanks again, everyone. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.